Okay, today we draw a line in the sand. Now we're still answering the messages, still doing the favors, the errands, showing up for everyone. But there's also a part of us that is wide awake now, and we're starting to pay attention. We're starting to notice the places where we drain ourselves, the conversations that always leaves us tired, the favors, the bills, the habits, the things that quietly pull us away from the life that we say we want. And we're not so willing to brush it off now because today we actually start to see the patterns. And that gives us the power to start choosing a new way to approach things, a new way to live our passions, our dreams, our desires. Okay, so we'll break down the energy, starting with the numerology, then astrology, then of course we'll turn to the cards, and I will remember the animals. I've got them out. So what happened was I was doing a personal reading for somebody in the area, but they watched me, so they requested I bring the animal cards, and since I don't usually bring them with me, I didn't unpack them, and for some reason it didn't even dawn on me that they were gone. So thank you to all of you who reached out and said that they were sorely missed. I've got them here. They're ready. I got two crystals on them just because I forgot about them. So it's my apology to them to give them a little extra energy. So now that I got that out of the way, let me say thank you. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for keeping me on track. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your love, your time, your support, hyping me. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but thank you for doing it. How it measures me, I don't know. Maybe it just gets me out there a little bit more. I don't know, but I appreciate it. Anyway, it's happening. And it's because of you that it's happening. So thank you. So I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and welcome to your daily focus, November the 27th, 2025. So the energy of the 27 today. The 27 in some ways is completions, but it's more of a harvest period. It's more of we've walked this path, and this is what we have gained from it: knowledge, wisdom, honing a skill. Usually it's knowledge and wisdom, though, that we've gained through walking a part of our path. And the part of the path, well, I'm not gonna jump ahead because then I get all frazzled. So we're not gonna do that. I've done that in the past and it just gets ugly from here. So the 27 energy is about reaping the harvest of what we have walked through. Our work, our commitments. 2 plus 7 is a 9, so that is more about completions, endings, and leaving some things in the past. Understanding what belongs and what doesn't. Clearing the room for something new to appear in our life. If we look at the daily numerology, it'd be a 2 plus a 9 plus a 9, and that gives us a 20, and that's turning points in a row. In the road. Turning points in the road. It could be death and rebirth, absolutely, with the 20 energy. And it's a good thing. It's like we've been through the worst part of it. And now it's time to begin our rebirth. And if you remember, or if you've seen a baby ever in your life, you know that the birth doesn't mean that we just shoot out of the gate and we start running. It takes time. It takes time to learn how to move our feet and then to walk and then to run. So don't get ahead of yourself. Don't have very little patience. This is a time you should have a lot of patience with yourself, with the plan, with what you want to step into. 2 plus 0 is a 2, and that is about understanding the magic that is all around you, which it is, but more importantly, the magic that lays within. Your talents, your abilities, the skills you've honed, the person you've become. And all of that is magic. All of that is beauty. And all of that needs to come out and work full time for you so that you can move forward. To not hide a part of ourselves away. Sun is in Sagittarius, Moon is in Aquarius, but I think it's shortly after 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Moon will move into Pisces. So we could feel a little bit more like the unwinding, wanting to lay back, wanting to crawl into our imaginations, trying to escape, all these things, rest, recuperation, turn on a comedy. That's the kind of energy. It pulls us back. We don't want to actually roll up our sleeves and do whenever we have a moon in Pisces. And this is a very significant moon in Pisces, and I'll get to that in a minute. Today, actually, Saturn's the headline. It goes stationary direct today. It begins its journey back to Aries, where it will call home for the next 2 to 3 years. So these last 5 degrees is like, it made me go down a rabbit hole. I did. I jumped right into it. I wanted to see how Saturn moves, when Neptune moves, when they conjunct. I went through it all. But I found out some pretty amazing things, okay? First of all, I found out that Saturn doesn't move from 25 degrees for the rest of the year. I swear to you, it's not till 2026 comes in where it finally moves its first degree. So we're going to feel like we're stuck in limbo when it comes to Saturn. When it comes to our obligations, our commitments, making the plan, making the strategy. But there's so much more to it than that. So I'm jumping ahead again. Now, on top of that, what I noticed is Neptune is actually only 4 degrees away from Saturn. So that makes it, just outside. Some people do a 3 degree orb. Some people do a 5 degree orb. I kind of settle with a 3 degree orb because I know the energy is strong enough for all of us to feel it at 3 degrees, but it's at 4 degrees. And so we must be feeling a twinge of it somehow. We just can't put a label on it yet, okay? And that stays. Okay? Now, while they stay 4 degrees apart, the moon will actually go over the one, in the middle of the two, and then over the other as it makes its way across the sky. So it would hit Saturn first and then Neptune both times. So that makes the Saturn-Neptune field, and it pulls feelings to the surface. So those will be days when our heart, it'll tell us the truth. Long before our mind does, we'll feel it in our bodies that this isn't right. This has to change. This needs to go. I can't keep doing this in my life. Okay, so remember I said the moon has just moved into Pisces, 25 degrees. It's going to take a couple of days, but keep it in mind that as the moon moves through Pisces, we will feel this energy more and more. Okay, so it's, just make sure that you are watching how you talk to yourself during these times. Okay, if anything, it's nobody's fault. Okay, we can't purposely harm ourselves. Okay, we have to think in our mind, in our heart, that this is the best way forward. And we cannot see another way forward. This energy allows us to see another way forward. So yeah, the moon will show us. The moon will show us when we're tired, when we're done, when we're still clinging. And we're all quietly hoping that something will save us so we don't have to choose ourselves. Now, 5 degrees before Aries, the new beginnings, the new starts, the reset. In these last 5 degrees, okay, we are closing a 3-year chapter of our life. And Saturn is also closing a 30-year cycle with the zodiac. Okay, so what you think might only be the last 2 or 3 years could actually be a part of this 30 years that Saturn has been going around. Some of you have had your Saturn return, or it's about to come, or it's 5 years away, or, okay, a lot of this path has to do with that 30-year, I hear trot across the sky, which I guess it does. Okay, so these last degrees, Saturn is got to finish up some things, tidy up the area, get rid of the clutter, get rid of what no longer belongs in our life, puts us on the sure path of creating passion, desires, goals, stepping into them, stepping out of our comfort zones. So, oh, I thought I saw a shadow of some sort. Oh my goodness. Um, is it gone? Okay. Um, yeah, Saturn's asking us to be brutally honest with ourselves. Like, do we see shadows? Um, where we numb out instead of making a decision, or where we play the victim, or maybe it's the martyr without noticing. We don't even notice we do it. We just do it. It's how we're wired right now, where we sacrifice ourselves in ways that will absolutely feel exhausting once we come to realize it. And we tell ourselves the stories that will keep us small, keep us powerless. Yeah, we see where we say it's fine and clearly it's not. Or maybe we're constantly forgiving the behavior of another, hoping things will change. But really, there hasn't been any real change. Or we feel so sorry for somebody that we've got to help them. Or we're afraid of what they might do if we go absent. We carry guilt even for thinking about our own needs. Any of that sound familiar? We see the places where we hope things will magically improve without needing to have that tough conversation. Or we just give this emotional, chances are unpaid emotional labor. Or we take on extra responsibilities because, somebody has to. Doesn't need to be you. We stay in roles where what we get back in return is quite blurred, or where our gifts are misused or taken for granted. And we don't look at the patterns, we don't look at these things because it can feel very overwhelming when you start to go down that rabbit hole. So now, we can double down. We have the choice, free will. We can double down on numbing ourselves by more scrolling and more food, and more drama, and maybe more shopping, and maybe a little bit of gambling. And let's turn to something that'll help me escape. Maybe it's a little bit of an addiction, but I got it under control. It's so easy to sink into a victim modality here, a victim modality. We start saying things like, that's just how it is, or all in its own divine timing, or it seems I never get a break, or what am I going to do? I can't change anything. And even when small, meaningful choices are possible, we say those scripts and we believe them. Like I've always said, we've got this giant excuse bag. It's huge. And we can convince ourselves that they're truths. We tell ourselves, being kind means never saying no, never upsetting anybody, never disrupting the waters, rocking the boat, even when those waters are quietly drowning us. So if we go that way, things will remain pretty well the same. It will seem like we're in a bit of a fog. It's heavy energy. We're tired all the time. But now if we engage in Saturn's gift, because it doesn't feel like a gift, not at the beginning especially, okay? The feeling will not be instantly like we're happy. But we get clearer. We might cry more. We might finally admit something that we've really known deep down in our heart for a very long time. We might feel the grief for lost years and lost chances and old versions of us, and that's okay. And we don't need to talk about where we're going just yet. Okay, right now, the work is simple, although very brave. We need to see the patterns. We need to feel the cost. And then choose the one thing we're not willing to carry any further, so that we can be ready for that new beginning, that reset, that rebirth, when Saturn does enter Aries with Neptune. Neptune goes in early, but Saturn catches up. So, and that's all in the new year. Okay, that's January, February, and March. Okay. So we're not going to go that far ahead. Let's turn to the cards instead, okay? Who do we have? Oh, look at that. The Three of Pentacles. Roll up your sleeves and get to work, but I think this is more about working from the inside out. It's time to make the decisions of what goes forward with us, what stays behind. We need to close off some of these chapters that might be 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 2 or 3 years. But in some way, we've all gotten caught up in that web to one degree or another. And some of us have realized this already, especially if you're in a Saturn return. You're probably already seeing this about yourself. Oh, who do we have there? The Five of Pentacles. And we feel like throwing in the towel, like, Tilly, when's this energy going to end? Well, actually, it started in March and we're still here. So, remember in March, we got that instant, like, something's going to happen. And then it was like, yeah, so we're going to work on ourselves for the rest of the year. And remember, it's a 9 energy year. So it is about closure and letting go and leaving things in our rearview mirror. So that we can fully embrace a 1 energy year coming to us with all the major planets changing, finding their homes for the next year to 20 years, right? So we feel like throwing in the towel. You really do not know how close you really are to that great, wonderful door of abundance. And if we stand up and we stretch and we start to move and we start to motivate ourselves, we'll see that door. We'll be able to knock. We'll be able to turn the handle. We'll be able to walk through. So what is it on the other side? And don't worry so much about what is it on the other side. It's a lot better than what you are living at the present moment, I would think, for the majority of us at least. 10 of Cups, it's all about our happily ever after. We've got to do the work now. We've got to make the hard decisions. We have to say, this environment raises me up. This environment takes the life out of me. Or these people do. Or this person does. Or this activity, or this job, or this career, or this way of treating myself. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's, health. Health would cover a lot of it, wouldn't it? The health of your heart, the health of your body, the health of your spirituality even. And the Eight of Swords is back. We're seeing things with new eyes, new perception. We've ripped off the blindfold here. Or we are ripping off the blindfold. And so where we thought we were trapped in a cycle that we could not break free from, we're going to start seeing how we can actually go forward in a different way. And it's going to be scary at first, but once you start doing these things for yourself, it becomes less scary every time. And then all of a sudden, you have more confidence, more courage, more strength to really stand for who you are and where you're going and what you'll put up with and what you won't. And that's exactly the kind of person that you need to be as you go forward into 2026. And start realizing just how deserving you are for so much more than you ever thought you were. We get I think the Nelson's ratings was like 30,000 subliminal messages we get on a daily basis. Daily basis. My goodness. They've got it hidden into everything. And that kind of tells us, we've got to be kind. We've got to be nice. We've got to do this. We've got to help our neighbor. We've got to, we've been told that from birth, really. When we held our favorite toy and another kid wanted to play with it and we said no and we got in trouble for it. Justice card. Justice card is about letting go what no longer belongs in your life and making a promise to yourself. Setting a goal. Putting a dream or a passion or a desire into motion. And making the plan and making the strategy and then showing up and doing the work. Consistently. And watch how everything starts to flow together for you when that happens. Okay, we will go to our ancient stones. And we've got lay it on the altar. Lay it on the altar. Look at that card. Lay it on the altar. Okay, let's see what lay it on the altar is all about, shall we? Held in the embrace of the Benedictine monastery, perched on the rugged Montserrat mountain in Spain, is a miracle working 12th century statue of the Virgin and Child known as the Black Madonna, a sacred embodiment of the divine, reflecting the intertwining of the spirit and earth. Her presence reminds us of the mystical whispers of the stones that have been carved by time, a testament to timeless wisdom of the earth itself. And we can be tough on ourselves, but it's through our problems, our challenges, and mistakes that we grow the most. And when we experience these difficult times, we gain the capacity to truly be there for another. No one is immune to the challenges of life, and we all need support as we journey through it. To know that what can truly hold us through ever-changing human life, to find a way to soften towards ourselves when life is hard, to lay your worries, concerns, and struggles onto the great Mother's stone altar, and stay open to being supported. This card urges you to welcome support from those around you, to soften your heart, to forgive. You don't need to know how to do it. A willingness is enough. Offer compassion and mercy towards yourself and those around you. You don't need to carry it all. And you can call upon the support of those both in the seen and unseen realms. Remember that we're always doing the best we can, and that every moment of every day we can lay down our worries on the Great Mother's altar. We don't need to go through it alone. The soul inquiry is, how can I soften my heart? And what am I carrying that is getting too heavy to carry alone? You know, they're always listening to us. They're always looking for ways that they can help us. So when it gets too hard, just say, I give it up to you. Take this off my plate. Help me with it. What's that one country song? Give God the wheel or give Jesus the wheel or something like that. But, you know, maybe you just need a nap. Maybe you've just been driving for too long and you need to pull over, or you need to let someone else drive for a little while. And that's okay. Be free. The Hawk says be free. And really that's the goal. That is the true goal, to be free, to feel the strength of liberation. The leader initiate impulsive open insight. There are many ways to be free. One of them is to transcend reality by imagination, as I try to do. This card speaks to who you are. The Hawk is protective, intuitive, and a leader. Hawk shows you that you're very responsible, intelligent, and yet spiritual. You observe the situation before reacting. Hawk may be telling you to look at the big picture before you react. Stop paying attention to every single tiny detail, as it helps to alleviate the weight that you feel around you in your life. Hawk wants you to work on adding some impulsiveness to your life instead of ritualistically walking through life as if it were a recipe that needs to be followed exactly. There is a difference between being irresponsible and being impulsive. So don't fret that Hawk is telling you to change. He only wants you to free yourself from narrow-minded people and narrow-minded thinking. Hawk is often seen as a messenger from the other side, so if you've chosen this card, obviously we have, there is that spiritual awakening that you are being asked to open yourself up to. And it could be that you went through a very trying and difficult time and are simply here going through the motions. Are you simply here going through the motions? Hawk asks you if you're being authentic to your true soul self, and if the answer is no, work with Hawk to get back that intuitive person that you already are, and possibly taking a class on mediumship or psychic development. You know, this energy is all happening in water signs. This energy is all happening in Pisces. It is our emotion, but we need to it kind of called to us that we need to be spiritually aware of the tools we have from the spiritual world to actually help ourselves heal, address issues, see issues. You can wake up in the morning and say, open my eyes to the things that I have been too afraid to see up till now. Open my eyes to where people are abusing my good nature or my talents and my abilities. Open up my eyes to the people who only show me love because of all the things I do rather than because I am their friend. Yeah, so we got the end of November here, so we got a full month. We got a full month of this energy at 25 degrees, okay? So the 25 is success after great difficulty. So I guess these are our great difficulty moments. That will be, overridden by a lot of other transits that'll come our way. But know that this is consistently going to be in our background and coming to the surface, but more so as we go into January of next year through to, I think, the end of March, maybe middle of March. Okay. But it's an exciting time if we treat it as a gift, if we treat it as something that is going to, it's like the Scorpio energy is still well and alive and peeling back the layers till we get to the truth. And maybe we are the center of that truth. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.